to you guys about something very serious today. You guys see the title. It's about becoming God. And I just want to talk about my God self a little bit and share a little bit of my story. So I'm just going to wait a little bit and see if people come in at all while I'm online. So just, yeah. I have to say that this talking about this topic is really nerve wracking for me because I'm free to talk about it and I talk about it a lot. I actually talk about it and share it with a lot of people on a regular basis. But it's a little sensitive to put on the internet because it's very challenging. And I have a life and I have a family, and people have their beliefs and stuff like that. And I don't want to challenge people's beliefs in any kind of way that can be harmful to them. However, I do feel very, very inspired to come and share my perspective and how I've seen the world and my experiences that I've kind of had. So, um, yeah, just this disclaimer. I don't have anything against other people's beliefs, and I just want to be able to freely share my beliefs just the same as others share theirs. But this seems to be something that people are waking up to. So, anyways, I have a bullet points that I'm going to be going down and kind of covering and elaborating on so that I can kind of just keep structured a little bit, but still like tell my story. So, yeah. Hi, it's somebody here. But yeah, I this is very making me nervous a little bit. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna share the story anyway. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Greetings, Sierra. How you doing? Yeah, I'm on here trying to share this story, girl, but it's like, what am I feeling? I want to make sure that I'm in my authenticity. In my day to day life, I can share this story confidently and not have any problem with like even comfort at all. Because, I don't know, it's just a one on one thing. But when it comes to like sharing it with more people, that's where it gets a little bit nerve wracking. So, bear with me with my nerves. Hopefully, I get over them as I go through this little video. Um, yeah. Anyways, um, the first thing I want to say is I am God experiencing itself as Shekinah. My name is Shekinah. I was born to my mom and dad, who was born to their parents. I come from a lineage of like people and belief systems and things like that. But there's a significance in how I kind of went through my life. I took a detour. I have to say, I took a detour. And yeah, I ended up to where I'm realizing now more and more things about how we are connected to spirituality and why we're always chasing spirituality and chasing understanding and chasing God and these things like we have looked at it as if we're connected to God. But I have taken this strong stance of I need to just show people that I know that I am God experiencing itself as Shekinah. Let's see. Your sister's name is Shekinah. Well, that's the thing about Shekinah. The name Shekinah means the divine presence of God. It means God in the flesh. It means the divine spirit of God in flesh. And it represents the closeness with God. So the thing about me is I've kind of moved through the world like a philosopher, like asking a lot of questions, dissecting things, people introducing things to me and talking to me about things, and then I would just develop this curiosity about these things, and like explore them and try to like understand more. And I feel like it kind of took me with my difference because I also found out later on in life that I'm autistic. So, because of my autism, I needed to dive deeper and understand concepts and topics on a deeper level to even get it at all. So that was really significant to my cat is like really wanting my attention right now. She's in heat, so she's just all over me. But because I'm autistic, like it caused me to like question everything. So I kind of grew up with a philosopher's mind, like starting at a very young age. Also, like the kind of questions I was asking and the things I was curious about, nobody around me was really curious about these same things. Like they weren't asking these same questions. And if they were asking these same questions, they weren't asking them out loud, which I didn't think there was anything wrong to ask some of the questions that I was asking when I was younger. And I just didn't think it was wrong to ask questions. I always thought that if you're curious, you should be like asking a question. That just makes sense to me, right? So, like philosophies and just all types of things, how the world works, like how math works, how school works, how religion works, how soil works, just different things, just trying to like pick it apart and understand it as much as I possibly can. But of course, with that, it's God, like trying to understand God on a deeper level. Because like we all feel God at a young age, and we all have this kind of innate curiosity about this God, that we feel when we're young. And then people give us their ideas about this God. They tell us that this God is this way and give us literature to read and things to study. And then they might send us to church or whatever religious like synagogues that we use in our regions or whatever. But they will send us somewhere to like get educated on God or tell us what their education is on God. So this curiosity is being filled by people who already have concepts of God or trying to interpret God on their own or through whatever books that they've been taught. So when somebody was teaching me something like Christianity, whenever people were teaching through Christianity, it would be a question attached to everything that was being said. And at a young age, I learned to ask questions, but I learned that I also get the answer. And that because I'm asking questions, I tend to have a different perspective on things than most people around me because I'm looking at it in a total different way. I'm looking at it totally deeper and more like intuitively and more like really trying to learn something, really trying to get something from the topic that I might be questioning. So, with the topic being God, those questions was coming from like regular experiences. Like me being a little girl, being outside, just like playing with things and like questioning things, like questioning the tree bark and the connections and looking at bulges in the tree and just trying to understand this. And even I remember even back then being like, oh, this tree has sores and these are wounds and this is like a scab, and kind of understanding it more on a like almost human level than like a tree kind of level. So, like, say that I'm out because I was always very curious. So I wasn't like my peers. I was like separate from my peers. Hey, left hand bandit 85. But I was separate from my peers. And the reason why I was separate from my peers is because I was exploring this curiosity and they weren't curious about the same things. They're curious about like what our common peers are curious about, like boys and getting dressed up and doing this or doing that, like rites of passage at certain ages and stuff like that. That's what they were concerned about. I was like just trying to explore and learn and like experience things and like feel, taste, touch, like use my emotions, use my imagination, like play with the kids, like get to know people, ask questions and stuff like that. So that always set me apart. But it also sent me on like a journey of learning things like from nature, like insects and colonies and squirrels and watching them dance and have fun and play and new flowers and trees and leaves and the air, how the air smelled in different areas or smelled on different days and tasted on different days, just engulfed in what is natural, engulfed in what is real, even my own experiences. Like if I experienced something that made me feel good, I would spend time with that feeling and like really like soak it up. But also if something made me feel bad, I would tend to soak those things up too. So it was like, I don't know, it was very interesting how I experience my life now that I know that other people are not experiencing their life like that or whatever. But like if I experienced something, I would just like dig into it and try to understand it. But this helped me understand people, you know? When it came to animals, I would like dig into animals and try to understand that. Hey, you gonna braid my hair? Sure, I'll braid your hair. Thank you, Leslie. I'm in Dallas too. But yeah, guys, I have notes because I'm trying to stay on track with what I'm trying to say because it's really important to me to kind of share my perspective. I'm actually being driven to share my perspective because I have like this divine connection to God and His intentions with me. Why did He create me? What did He want me to do? Like, why have I experienced things the way that I've experienced them? What does it mean, and what can it do for another person? So, anyways, so I've had this unique experience, and now when I get online, I'm seeing that more and more people are like realizing that they are really divinely connected to God, that they are themselves God, and I was like, okay, I had started this channel like 10 years ago, and never really got on the channel to do much. I tried to do things, but I needed to. There was something more that I needed to be able to show up like I'm trying to show up now. And I didn't have it, but now I got it. So, anyways, there's this urge to get online and to just show myself, to just put myself out there, to just like share my experiences and tell my story and like just put it all out there because I'm putting it all out there, face to face. I'm putting it all out there in my experiences and stuff. So I just want to, just have this as a thing that's on the books. The best example of somebody who's experiencing what I'm experiencing is Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is making music where he is provoked to make this music. He's not making this music because this is the music that he wants to make. He's kind of making it like he has to make it. But nobody gets it. Nobody is really listening to the music. Nobody knows what he's talking about. But he is talking about that he is God and he's trying to show you guys how you are God. That's what he's been trying to do. And there's plenty other people in history who've done this. So, I mean, we can name all these like greats who've done this. Another one that I really want to mention is Andre 3000. Erica Badu. Like people realize that they're, and I don't know these people's stories. I don't know what's going on in their lives. So don't count anything that they're doing or going through to this or whatever, but these are just names that I've thought of that realize that we are God, you know? And yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And there's more and more people coming out on social media who are talking about their God experience, who are talking about their experience of consciousness and what they've seen and what they've realized, and different, they call downloads. People, have different words for what they saying is they're getting, the information that they're getting or whatever. But it's as simple as asking yourself questions. It's as simple as asking the universe question and waiting for the answer. But it's like it's hard to make people understand that that is real. And all you got to do is really try it, though, for real. Ask the universe questions, and answers just come back, and they come back any kind of way they want to come back. However God sends this answer back is how it comes back, because you are a part of everything, and everything is a part of you. So yeah, my best example is that Kendrick Lamar is also talking about this same experience, and a lot of other people on social media now are talking about it, which makes it a little bit easier for me to kind of get on and talk about it. It was harder 10 years ago to try to talk about this because it was like so unheard of. But now it's not as, rare anymore. Next bullet point: I've always been open and curious. I answered my own questions. When I was young, I always asked a lot of questions. Like, I was known for asking a lot of questions. But a lot of the questions that I was asked had a lot of the things that I had a question for, people didn't necessarily have an answer to. So I would find myself pondering things and like concepts and trying to weave things together, and then seeing connections and stuff. And then next thing I know, I'm realizing that all of this stuff is the same. All of this stuff is the same. But it's like, it's literally just being curious and asking questions and waiting on the answer. So I'll just go to the next bullet point. I'll talk about my first experience of God. My first experience of God was in church. We were singing in a choir and stuff like that, and the Holy Spirit will take over, so to where you feel this God feeling like over your body. Some people shout, some people just feel it and just like get happy. They call it get happy. And others just are not, I don't know if they just don't believe it or whatever. They just don't necessarily, they feel it, but I guess maybe they're not responding to it or not interpreting it. But anyways, that was my very first experience of God. And I remember when those feelings took over my body, it was almost like a shock to my system. Like, I was just shouting and shouting and shouting. I could barely stop shouting. I remember the only way they got me to stop shouting was my grandmother, who was married to my granddad. She was my step grandmother, but we called her grandmother. But she came and got in my ear and was like, "It's okay. God got something special for you. You can calm down. You can get in the car." And I remember when she said that, my whole spirit, like my whole everything, like calmed down immediately. It was like I resonated so much with that I knew she was right. But then I was curious as to how is that right? Which took me on another journey of like trying to understand how I feel and what do these feelings mean, and just all these things, negative feelings, positive feelings, like intuition. It took me down the path of like really trying to figure out what these feelings were with my intuition, whether I should do a thing or whether I shouldn't do a thing, or just intuition and how it guides your life. Um, let's see. After this experience, feeling the presence of God, that was it. Like, me and God was bonded together forever. Like, he was always bonded to me, but my knowingness of this feeling that just, it's like, how could this exist? I'm a person, like, how could I be feeling these feelings in my body? Like, how is this real? Like, I don't know, just all those questions like made me hooked. I was like, okay, I need to understand God. I need to understand these feelings. I'm chasing it. Like my whole life has been about chasing this understanding of God. Um, I remember then that's when I started to ask God direct questions because I knew then that it was bigger than it was like they were saying like God is amazing, God is all these things. So I realized that and I was like running for it like full speed. But of course, I was still a young person and I experienced my young person stuff. But yeah, I still was like connected to God. But that connection ended up going to where everything about life was me using my intuition and feeling it out and taking the next logical step or the next necessary step. It was like I was always figuring out what to do. And it felt like my steps were being ordered. It felt like I was being guided down the path that I've taken. Um, a lot of things have happened. A lot of things have happened. But at 40, I sit here and I see that all those things that have happened to get me where I am with the understanding that I have, with the appreciation that I have, with the forward movement that I have, just being this person who's being guided and trying to, as much as I can, help the next person who may be struggling in whatever way, even just your humanness. Realize that there's something bigger to you than you think it is. Spirituality is much more real than reality. Spirituality is much more real than reality. Every person that is experiencing the earth right now is just everything that is experiencing life or existence is God experiencing itself through that thing. Like earth is God experiencing itself as earth. These plants are God experiencing themselves as these different plants growing in these different environments. It's like God is learning from himself over and over again, over and over again, which is extremely like profound when I finally like heard Kendrick Lamar's album and heard Reincarnated. That song is very powerful. It's so coded. It's like it's so many layers to dissect when it comes to that song that it's almost jarring. Like, how did his brain do that? Like, how did he do that? But what he was explaining was that God is constantly being reborn and being reincarnated. He was incarnated as this person, incarnated as this person, and then incarnated as Kendrick Lamar, and then referenced as the devil. But Kendrick is referencing himself as God throughout all of his albums. But if you just really listen to that song, he's telling you through his own perspective that he believes that he is God and he understands that everybody's experience here is impactful and is important to the existence of the planet. So he made these songs and this particular song to just put it out there that he feels like he's reincarnated, but it's bigger than being a person reincarnated. He's God reincarnated. So yeah, this is just, I don't know. I feel better now that I've gotten on here and talked about it at least a little bit. Because I've been wanting to get on here and talk about it for a long time, and I have a lot to say. And I will be saying that. So I'm just warming up to the fact that I'm finally getting out here and saying this stuff. So I don't know exactly how this is going to go. I just have to go with the flow and stand on these nerves and just keep pushing myself to just do it. Just do it. Because my experience is important too. Not that I even thought that my experience wasn't important. I just, people never shared in the past like they're sharing now. People never connected that way. But I've always known that it's necessary to connect. I've always known that it's necessary to share. My kids know everything about me. Everything that I could possibly talk to them about, I've talked to them about it. Everything that I could possibly tell you guys about, left hand, I used to braid hair when I was locked up. India. Hey, Rufus. But everything that I could possibly talk about, I've definitely talked about this stuff with my kids because we used to powwow. We used to sit around fires and sit around in groups telling stories and talking about things that have happened. And those things are important. We have to learn from each other. We have to learn with each other. And we have to encourage each other and normalize our peopleness, because I think that some things about our peopleness get very like scrutinized and dissected and judged. But I'm here to be my whole self. I'm here to be my whole self because scrutinizing and judging has no impact. It does nothing. Scrutinizing and judging does nothing. There was a time where scrutinizing and judging me had an effect on me, but not anymore because I understand that every person is here for a purpose and their uniqueness is valuable in this grand tapestry of existence. Grand tapestry to a magnitude that we could not even fathom. We could not even fathom the consciousness. I even believe that trees and plants and all of these things are conscious in a way that we can't understand because we too human. We're too human to possibly be able to understand like the consciousness of a plant. We can kind of comprehend the consciousness of a cat, right? Let me show you my cat. Oh, she ran away. She ran. Oh, my phone flipped. She in heat, so she frustrated. I had to get her fixed. But we can kind of understand the consciousness of an animal, but we can't understand the consciousness of anything beyond that. Like, hey, yeah. But division is what they did on purpose. Like, division is why you don't know you God. Division is why we are even in turmoil right now. Mom's trying to straighten up my phone. What's it saying? Oh, but yeah. Um, hey, I just used this whole first half of this video talking about my God experience. So if y'all could watch it back, that would be great. Because that's what the purpose of this channel is. This channel is to talk about my God experience. Even though I love connecting and I definitely want to connect, but I want to connect on more than like, oh, these people, they're on the internet, they're, whatever. I want to connect more on a peopling level, like spiritual level too. So, but anyways, I'm trying to determine how do I want to bring the videos. Like, do I want to bring them like directly on live, or do I want to record content and upload? The myth is beautiful. Yeah. So, yeah, what did I write at the bottom? I wrote, I'm a reflection of the divine essence that flows through the universe. I am a reflection of the divine essence that flows through the universe. You are too. We all are. Um, the thing is knowing it and what that does to the earth. Like, people talk about going to heaven and seeking heaven and whatever. But I believe that after we all realize like how spiritually important our lives are, we will realize that we're actually on heaven. We actually have heaven on earth. If we all function with our purpose, if we all function with our intuition and our love and emotions and understanding and gratitude above all. I was talking to my daughter the other day and she was talking about she don't want to do certain things or whatever. And I'm like, but you have to be grateful that you get to do certain things because she has like a pretty blessed life. I'm like, if I was you, I'd be grateful that I get to wash the dishes or get to um, create videos or get to write out a plan for a business or get to, I don't know, even walk around in your house because some people don't even have houses, or you have transportation or that you can get the dart bus. It's just so many things to be grateful for. Like, I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for being able to sit here right now with y'all doing this live. Like, my gratitude overflows. But I feel like that my gratitude overflows because of this God connection that I have, this constant. It's like I know who I am. I'm God. I'm God and you're God. So yeah, I'm just trying to, as clearly as I can, be God and show up for myself and show up for the world because I've been doing it behind the scenes. So, anyways, yeah, that is what I had to say on this becoming God topic. I definitely want to expound upon it. I'm gonna have to figure that out how I want to expound upon it because I'm just now getting on and just even trying to record these things. So we'll see how things go. I'll just keep recording and we'll just figure it out. So, anyways, thanks you guys for coming by and saying hi and visiting the channel or even trying to see what I'm talking about. Hopefully, something that I said resonates with you. Um, we're God, you're God. And once you realize who you are, your life changes like drastically. For one, God gets involved. You don't feel like you're alone anymore, even though you're not alone. Those nagging voices, you're not alone, but we can feel alone. But once we know how real God is and how real we are and how real that message was for God, for Jesus to even try to show you who you were, some of you Christians, that's where I came in at through Christianity. I was woke up by Jesus, by the message of Jesus. So, anyways, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for coming by and have a good night. Bye.